Hail our stories.
He says he locked the cab himself. Checked it twice. 20 minutes later, someone knocked from inside. Not outside. Inside. Truckers see things at rest stops that nobody else ever will, because they're the only ones who sleep there. Today, part 2 of the stories they told us themselves. Stay till the end. Story 3 will make you check your car door again. Truck stops are a world of their own. Hundreds of trucks, dozens of states and highways, and almost no lighting after midnight. The people who sleep there see things they don't talk about for weeks afterward, because either nobody believes them, or they're too afraid to say it out loud. You asked for a sequel after part 1. Here it is. 4 new stories, sent in by real truckers. As always, it's going to get unsettling. Let's go. Story 1. The Teddy Bear. Mark, driving for almost 15 years, pulled into a rest stop in Ohio around 3 a.m. A normal night, a normal spot. Trucks lined up, every other lamp burned out. Stretching his legs, he noticed a teddy bear taped to a pole by the dumpsters. Taped carefully, at a child's eye level. A note on its chest read, "He won't find anyone without me." Mark took a photo, laughed it off, probably someone's prank, and went back to sleep. An hour later, a knock on the truck body woke him. Slow. 3 knocks. A pause. 3 more. He looked outside. No one there. The bear on the pole was gone. By morning, he found it again, this time taped to his own side mirror. Same note. Mark says he didn't sleep the rest of the night. The door stayed locked. The lot was covered by cameras, but the footage shows no one near the pole or near his truck. Story 2. Always the same spot. Irene has been driving trucks for 7 years, rare for her line of work, and says she's seen plenty in that time. But one story still won't leave her alone. At a rest stop in Nebraska, she started noticing the same vehicle, an old pickup with no plates, parked in the exact same corner of the lot every single night. She stopped there. No matter what time she arrived, the truck was already there. A man always sat inside. He never slept, never ate, never got out, just sat there, staring straight ahead. The first couple of times, Irene didn't think much of it, but on her 4th visit, almost 2 months later, she decided to get closer. She knocked on the window. The man slowly turned his head, smiled, and spoke without opening his mouth. She swears his lips never moved, yet she heard the words inside her own head. "You're here again." Irene never stopped at that rest area again. Later, she learned from other drivers that the pickup had been seen there for years, some say for decades. Story 3. Knocking from inside. This is Danny's story, the one we opened with. He pulled into a rest stop in Texas late at night, worn out after a long shift. He checked the cab door twice, locked, pulled the curtains, went to sleep. Around 2 a.m., a knock woke him. Steady, calm, like knuckles tapping the inside panel of the door. Danny first thought he was dreaming. The knock came again. 3 taps. Silence. 3 more. He switched on the cabin light and saw no one. The door was locked exactly the way he'd left it, but the sound kept going, now seeming to come from under the bunk where he was lying. He couldn't take it anymore, jumped out through the driver's door, and stood outside until sunrise, too afraid to go back in. When it got light, he checked the cabin. Everything was in place. Nothing missing, no signs of anything. Except one thing. On the fogged-up glass, someone had written a single word with a finger. "Let me in." Danny sold that truck a month later. He never told the new owner why. Story 4. The rest stop that isn't on any map. Our last story comes from a driver who asked to stay anonymous. Late at night, in an unfamiliar area, his GPS suggested a rest stop 3 miles ahead. He took the turn. The road quickly turned into a rough, broken track, but the GPS insisted, almost there. The rest stop turned out to be real, Old, with leaning signs, broken lamps, and a couple of rusted trucks that had clearly been sitting there for years. A few figures sat around a fire between the vehicles, silent, heads down. He stopped briefly, just to stretch. One of the figures by the fire looked up and said, "You weren't supposed to find this place. It's been closed since '98. The driver left immediately, without looking back. Later, back home, he tried to find that rest stop on any map. It didn't exist. Not in state records, not on satellite images. Only on old paper maps from the '90s did a rest area show up there. One closed after a series of unsolved trucker disappearances." That's it for today. If you're a trucker yourself, or you know someone who is, share your story in the comments. It might make it into part 3. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and stay safe out on the road, especially at night. See you in the next video.